I don't know that this person really knows what direction they want to take. So, first of all, with the King of Cups being the overall on this, now, yeah, that could be the person that you're dealing with, male, female, water. But we're talking about, being in control of emotions here. But I think that that's more so a problem for the other person than it is for you. But we could be talking about, emotional availability, though, too, with this King of Cups. But you coming into this with the High Priestess. Now, I kind of look at that and I think that maybe you kind of know that this person has an interest in you, but I don't know that you're really sure. I kind of feel like, you're going based on just what you feel like you know, okay? But they're actually showing this kind of want to have, a new start with you, or wanting to at least begin a relationship with you. And they may be feeling that very strongly, and they may feel like they're coming from a place of a good sense of direction, but I don't think that they are. But I think that for you, you're just kind of going based off of, what you feel like is the truth here. I don't necessarily think that we're talking about like secrets coming out or anything like that. But what's interesting is the Tower where you meet. Now, I kind of get the feeling that for you, it's not so much avoidance, but that you don't want to have the situation collapse, but it may be collapsing because you're dealing with a person here who may be more focused on, their own security and stability with the King of Pentacles here. I don't want to say that he's selfish, he, she, whoever here. But we could be talking about somebody who is, trying to become a little bit more stable. But I think that their inability to be dependable is an issue. And I think that it's because of their personality that they're risking having everything kind of like fall apart here. Although I don't think that that's what you want. But the thing is you're going based off of just what you believe to be the truth, not any actual, direct communication from them or understanding from them. So I kind of look at the King of Cups in this situation and think, yeah, they do need to be a little bit more open with you emotionally. But they also need to come from a place where they actually understand how they feel. But there may be some other things going on with them, and that could have to do with career and money with the King of Pentacles. Because when they move into the Five of Pentacles, it looks like there is a part of them in their heart, like something's missing. I feel like something's missing. I don't think that, you are rejecting them. I think that they may be rejecting the idea of the relationship with you. And I think that, with the Six of Wands, you're trying to show that you kind of understand where they're coming from. I feel support on your side. But this person is having a really hard time making a choice in, what direction they're going to go in. And like I said, the support, I kind of feel like with Temperance, there's something that you recognize about this person on an emotional level that makes you understand that they've got some issues going on, that there's something missing in their life. They may appear on like the outside like somebody who is very successful, grounded, has their career under control, things like that. But they're coming from a place of like lacking here. And that's what I'm getting from, the Five of Pentacles being there. But you see this, you recognize it. And I think you understand that about them, better than they understand it about themselves. So with Temperance, I think that that's why you're kind of like in this place of, okay, I can be patient here, and I'm not going to make a choice based on immediate emotion or passion. And I feel compassion coming from you, like being supportive and compassionate of this person. They very clearly want to have this beginning with you, because I go back to this and think there's this passion, this want to make it start. But you don't know that. And what you see is somebody who is focused somewhere else that, and like I said, I don't want to say that they're selfish. It's almost like they have to focus on themselves, possibly their outward appearance when it comes to their career, things like that. But, this is like very close to falling apart if somebody doesn't become emotionally open. But then you have, this Ace of Pentacles there where we're talking about, depending on this person, there really could be this beginning that could start something very, long lasting, right? Like I always talk about sustainability with this Ace of Pentacles, and it's more than sex, it's more than passion, it's more than the emotions. It's actually like almost looking at the future. But with the Two of Wands, they want to, boy, do they want to, but are they doing anything about it? That's kind of where I'm at. Like, well, then what are you going to do? But I think that you're being very like understanding. So the feeling that I'm kind of getting off of them is they, I think, are coming from a place where they're trying to stop themselves from like really giving into, this want to just kind of go with what they're feeling and this passion. They may have put in a lot of effort into, this relationship or a relationship before, but the thing is they kind of look at it from a place of, well, I don't know if this is the right direction because this is what I have to show for everything from before. And then with the King of Swords, I mean, yeah, that could definitely be the way that they're looking at you. But the problem is with you showing the Three of Cups, I get support from that, especially with Temperance. And I don't think that we're talking about third party issues here at all. If anything, this may be, like conversations about, kind of like what's going on with this person. You may actually be connected to people who know what they're dealing with, so yeah, third party information maybe. But I really think that they're trying to emotionally detach themselves from this want to just kind of follow that passion. But the thing is you, in the way that you're coming off, whether you're male or female, doesn't matter to me here. The King of Wands for me in this situation looks like, especially with their Knight of Wands, they want to give into it, but I think that, they're not wanting to get attached because they're afraid that it's not going to stay. That we're not going to see a completion. We're only going to see part of the picture, but they're judging it early. And that's mainly because they're not taking the action here, right? They're considering it. But you're coming off strong, strong passion. So with the Knight of Swords, I think that, you have been very clear and very direct in terms of what you expect out of the relationship. I don't think that there should be any questions on their part. So I think that the judgment that they're placing on, the action that should be taken isn't very accurate based on what you've communicated. Okay. And like I said, with the Three of Cups here, I don't think that we're talking about third party situation. If it is, it's third party communication, but that's because they've, moved into this place where they're trying to rationalize everything and emotionally detach from the passion that they have, but you're coming on strong. And you're showing that you're ready to take action, that that's not a problem. But for them, something happened to them somewhere. But they very much want to have this start with you. And that's the thing. If we can get to a place where there is more direct communication from this person, I think it's going to be, easier for you to communicate to them. Look, just follow what you feel. Stop thinking about it so goddamn much. Because with this between the both of you, right, the potential is there, but somebody's got to make it happen, and it's them. They have to. And honestly, Aquarius, I kind of feel like that's you trying to find the strength not to just kind of like give up on a relationship or give up trying on a relationship. So, first of all, for some of you, it's safe for you to love, it's funny because I was getting that more off of the other person, but for those of you who are single, it's like you may not trust yourself in the way that you feel because you kind of like go into the idea of like dating or reconnecting with someone as things are never going to be as great as they once were, right? Like what I want to say is that something is not living up to an expectation because the sun is talking about a great relationship. The sun is shining on it. You two are in love, happiness, right? But I feel like this is something that you kind of look at like it's not going to happen, or you had it once before with someone else because of the Six of Cups. Now, as far as the High Priestess goes, I have to wonder if, because this all feels like the way that you kind of see your love life right now. So I don't necessarily think that with the High Priestess, we're talking about like secrets being revealed or secrets being kept. I think that, it's more about you kind of like bottling up this feeling of like wanting to have this like complete happy relationship, right? Now, for some of you, absolutely, you could be focused on a person from the past and how great things were. And maybe you need to tell somebody that, that relationship really made you feel complete with the world. But, what's getting me here is the Ten of Wands, because you're talking about, kind of like a relationship that doesn't go anywhere after this point. And with Strength, we're trying to find the strength to not just drop this idea of, the perfect relationship almost. But it's almost like I do have this overwhelming feeling that a lot of you are looking at, potential relationships in the future like they're just not going to live up to your expectation. It kind of has the feeling of like either having Neptune in your 7th house or having Venus and Pisces in your birth chart. That's what that feels like. So the Magician is going to be about you needing to make something happen in your love life. I don't necessarily think it's about somebody wanting to make something happen with you, because the thing is you're too focused on, the greatness of the past, right? But we need to make something happen in the future here. But there is an opportunity that's coming around with the Wheel. I don't think it's about the same person or a person from the past. I think that that's, like long gone, like how you used to view relationships or how you used to view somebody that you were in a relationship before. But I don't think that this is, coming back. But with the World, though, and kind of looking at, and look at all of it. Geez, man. Again, we're talking about, the relationship that makes you feel complete, but it's like you're waiting for that opportunity to come around, but really you need to make that happen. And the thing is with the Two of Cups, I do see like this relationship that may be coming through, but I think that you're prejudging it based on your past experiences. It's almost like, you could make something happen in your love life, but there's a certain opportunity you're waiting to come around. Like you're waiting for this to happen for you, right? But really it's on you to make this happen, but you're needing to find the strength to not just drop another relationship, because it's just, you just don't see how it's going to bring, like what you're wanting, this like beautiful relationship and something that makes you feel complete. Now, for some of you, yeah, it could be about a person coming back from the past. You've been trying to make this happen. The opportunity is coming back around, secretly here. This is a relationship that makes you feel complete. But the thing is you're not giving your full self to it. And then going back to it's safe for you to love. There you go. So let's talk about how you come into this. With the Page of Cups, you're talking about somebody who's having a hard time spitting it out, how they feel. Why can't I just tell this person how I feel? And the reason why this is happening is because there may have been like some healing in the relationship with the Star, maybe some hope brought back into the way somebody feels, but they're having a hard time saying it. Now, for some of you, this is either going to be you or the person that you're dealing with here, but I kind of get the feeling that you're dealing with somebody that needs to get out of a bad situation. And that may be what we're waiting for here. But hope is being restored in a way where somebody realizes they need to say something. The problem is with the Four of Swords, you're talking about somebody who can't force themselves to feel something. And with the Hermit, a lot of that is because they're really needing to try to figure out what the hell they want in their love life right now. And this is either going to be about you needing to get out of a bad situation, but I think a lot of you are dealing with somebody who's in a relationship right now and they need to leave it. They need to leave it. They need to be done with it. It needs to be over with. They can't feel anything right now because they're in this place where it's like, I don't know what I really want, but there is like some hope here that there can be a connection, but man, somebody's got to speak up here. But with the Eight of Wands, hopefully here, you move into a place where you get to start enjoying, your time with this person in this relationship. And maybe that's kind of where you're moving into, where it's like, okay, with time, they will leave this situation and we can ascend the relationship. But for now, we're just going to enjoy what we can get. And then you have the Knight of Wands, and this is kind of what I'm talking about. So instead of actually dealing with a problem, it's like we're just kind of like getting caught up with the passion here and enjoying the time. And that's really all that matters. And with time and worth waiting for, right? Maybe you or this person is going to get out of this situation. But this all looks like, to me, like you're getting involved in a relationship with somebody who things may not have gone very good between the two of you before. There may be a little bit of like bitterness that we need to talk about, right? And it may be hard for somebody to express the way that they feel because of that. But again, we're still looking at, you here, right? Hope being restored with this. But definitely somebody is having a hard time feeling anything right now because they're in a really bad situation. They may be too focused on how badly somebody else may have hurt them, not you. I don't feel that here. And I think that some of you, don't want to force a situation if this person isn't feeling it, but they need to figure their shit out with the Hermit. And again, that could be you. But either way, what I see here is that, this situation, unfortunately, I think is going to continue. But I think eventually they're going to get out of it. And in the meantime, right, it's just one of those things where the passion is building, but we're just enjoying our time together. And it may not be the right way to handle the situation. Yeah, but, I always say the heart wants what it wants, right? But maybe, it's worth waiting for this, for that moment, and that moment when they finally say enough is enough. There's no point in continuing to focus on that anymore. And whatever happened with the two of you in the past, it surely does not look as bad as what's going on here. And I think that that's external.